Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Basics of Python video series by Urdu IT Academy. Today we are going to learn about functions in Python. So let's get started. First, let's have a look on the previous session's assignment question. So I give you two homeworks to practice. First one is to create a program to print an even number pattern. So here you can see I have a for loop for I in range 1,6 starting. I will be starting from 1 up to 6. So inside the for loop for j in range I, initially it will be 1, then it will be 2, 3 like that. Okay. So inside the second for loop, in the for loop, I am printing 2 into I. So in the first exception, I is 1. So 2 into I means 2 into 1, which is 2. Okay. So in the next execution, when I will be 2. Okay. Because this for loop execute only one times, right? So in the next execution when I will be 2 for j in 2, this time this for loop will execute 2 times, right? We are printing 2 into I, 2 into 2. 2 into 2 is 4. Again, we are printing 2 into 2, 4. Okay. After that, again, we are going up. I becomes 3 now. Equal coming inside. For I in range, sorry, for j in range I will be 3 now. So we are printing 2 into 3, which is 6. So 3 times that loop will be executing. Like that, we can print an even number pattern. Okay. Now the next question was to create a program to print reverse star pattern. Right. So to print a reverse pattern, like whenever we are adding for loop for I in range, we need to specify the starting number here. Okay. Imagine I just added 5. Okay. Whichever number you want, you can add. So I just added, I just want 5 lines of pattern. So I just wrote 5 there. And the limit is 0. Okay. And to tell the computer that it is going in the reverse, we have to specify minus the decrementing value, -1. So for j in range I, initially I will be 5. That's why 5 stars are printing. Next time I will be automatically decremented to 4 because 5 minus 1, 4 it becomes. So for j in range I will be 4. That's why 4 stars will be printed. Like that we can create a star pattern, reverse star pattern. I hope it's clear. So let's get started with today's topic, functions. So what is a function? So these functions are a very, very important topic in programming, okay? So functions is a group of statements or group of associated statements that perform a particular task. All right. So which means whenever you want to repeatedly execute, a number of codes. Okay. Maybe there are 5 lines of program which we need to continuously, we need to repeatedly use in your program. Okay. So whenever you have to do something continuously, we can use a for loop or while loop, right? But sometimes that won't be possible because we don't need to continuously execute those lines. Maybe at the beginning we need, maybe after some time. So in between some other code will come. So we cannot use a loop. So in such situation, whenever you want to repeat, maybe there is a 5 lines to find some calculations or something. You want to do it more than one time. So whenever you are writing the same thing again and again, what happens is that you are just wasting your time, right? Our time is just getting wasted writing the same code. You're just wasting computer's memory. Also, we are writing the same thing. Okay. So the efficiency of the code will also decrease. And whenever suppose you want to make a small change, after some time, maybe you want to make a small change, you will have to make that change in all those codes, right? Okay. So any modification or alteration, it will be difficult. I mean, not exactly impossible, but it's difficult, right? So we have to use more efficient way using a function. What we can do is that those 5 lines, okay, imagine you have to execute a 5 lines, maybe a 5 lines more than one time. Those 5 lines, you can make it as a group and you can give a group name. Okay. So only one single time you need to tell the computer that, I'm going to create a group. This is the name of the group. And these are the lines inside the group. You have to tell the computer all the 5 lines. Okay. Now, whenever you want to execute those lines, you just want to write the name of the group. That is functions. Okay. Whenever you group some associated statements together, we call it as a function. So each functions you can give a unique function name. It's like a variable name. You can give a unique function name. Now, whenever you want to execute those lines those associate statements, you can just write the name of the function. Okay. So if you're using a function, the main benefit is that code reusability. Code reusability means the same code you can use it multiple times, which indirectly means that you don't have to, you can avoid repetition. We can avoid redundancy. Redundancy means duplication. We don't have to write the same thing again and again. And we can save our time. Whenever you want to make any modification, that will be super easy. Okay. So these are the benefits of function. Now, here you can see this is a syntax of a function. So whenever you, as I told you, whenever you are going to create a function, you need to tell the computer that, maybe I'm going to create a function. This is the name of the function. Now, how will you tell the computer that? We can just write def in short form. In small letters. Okay. Def means you are telling the computer this is a function definition. Okay. This is good. So the computer can understand, okay, this is going to be a function definition. So def space followed by the function name. Function name should be a unique name. It follows the same naming rules as a variable naming, like just like a variable name. Whenever we are creating a variable name, we have to, some rules are there which we need to always remember. For example, you should always start with a letter or an underscore. You can never start a variable name with a number. Okay, and you cannot use any other symbol other than underscore, like apostrophe, exclamation mark, comma. Nothing is, no other symbols are allowed. Same rules now is applicable for the function naming also. Like you can create a function name saying, like, uh, you can create a function name maybe fun, starting with small letter f, or fun123. That is also allowed. But you can never create a function name like 123 fun. That is not allowed. Okay, because you can never create a function name starting with a number. Also, you can only one single allowed is the underscore. No other symbols are allowed. Okay, so def followed by the function name should be a unique name. Immediately after all the functions, you need to add the brackets. Brackets are mandatory. Okay, inside the brackets we can add the parameter. Parameter means whenever you want to pass any value, that we can learn later. Okay, in this video series we are discussing that. So just remember def function name. We need the brackets. After the brackets, to tell the computer that, this is the this is the end of the function header. We can add the colon. Okay. So this first line, def function name parameters, def function name followed by the bracket, we call it as function header. Okay. Now below that, below the function header, you can add a doc string. Doc string means it's a short form of documentation string, which means, in a bigger project, you will have a lot of functions. So for different purposes, right? So whenever you're creating a function, immediately below the function header, you can add a comment. Docstring is just like as a comment, okay? You can add a comment for your own benefit. Like you can write like, I'm creating this function for this purpose. So that after so many days, whenever you're coming back to check your code, it will be very useful for you to understand why we have created this function and what is this function going to do. Okay, so this is just a comment. Okay, just a documentation. If you want, you can add, it's just an optional one. Okay, below that, more than one or more than one like valid Python statements. Okay, so this is the syntax of function. Clear? Yeah. Now, this is a sample how it is working. Sorry, actually, this is not an output. That was my mistake. Just ignore it. Okay, it's not an output. Okay, so def function name bracket colon. So that's the function heading. Below that, we have one or more valid Python statements. Okay. So how this will execute? Whenever your computer is executing, you know that it will execute first line first, then the second line, then the third line, then the fourth line, like that, right? So whenever the computer is going here, computer can see the def means it can understand, okay, this is going to be a function definition. So the computer will skip that, it will go here below the function. Okay. Now, one more thing, all the lines inside the function, you can see you should have some space, just like the for loop, if block, while loop, you are adding some lines inside the line, inside those statements. Sorry, before those statements inside the loop. Same way, whenever you are writing any function body, any statement inside the function body, you will have to add some space to indicate the computer that those lines are inside the function. And the first line without the space, like you can see here. Okay, here this line there is no space, tells the computer the end of the function body. Okay, now the computer will execute some random function, I mean Python code. After that, here you can see function name and bracket. Whenever a computer is seeing function name followed by bracket, computer can understand, okay, this is going to be a function code. So the computer will go up to check if there is any function with the name function name. So it found one here. So it will go inside and it will execute all the code. After executing all the code, it will be coming back to the place it was called, below the place it was called. Okay, just it will just normally continue the coding. Actually, you don't need any space here. Okay. All right. Now the next one, let's see a sample example. You can see here, this is a simple code. Def function name. Function name is hello, followed by bracket and colon. Inside the function, I have only one single line, a print statement, print hello world. So whenever you're calling this function will be printing hello world. Okay. So whenever the computer is executing, computer can see def. So it will just skip it and it will go here where it is printing the hi. After that, hello and bracket, computer know that, okay, it's going to be a function call. So it will go up to check if there is any function with the name hello. Got one here. So it will go inside the function and it is printing hello world. Okay. After printing the hello world, computer will be coming back here, but there is no more line, so the program terminates. Clear? Now you can see in a program we can have more than one functions, right? So here in this example, I have two functions here, area and perimeter. Okay, so this program is to find the area and perimeter of a rectangle, right? So the first, let's see how it is working. Def, computer can see def, going here, again another def. It is coming back here below the function body. So there is a print statement. Do you want to find area and perimeter? You can see that is the first line here. Do you want to find find area or perimeter? So user will be typing either area or perimeter, right? So to receive the user's answer, I have a variable choice is equal to input. Okay. So here the user has written area. So the area will be stored inside the variable choice. Okay. Now we are checking if choice equal to area, whether the user has written area. Okay. So here it is true because choice is area. In that case, we are calling the area function. So the computer will go up to check if there is any area function and it will execute the body inside the function. Okay. First, we are asking length is equal to float input, enter the length. You can see it is asking enter the length of the rectangle. We have written 5 here. Now it is asking enter the width of the rectangle. We have written 3 here. Now area equal to length times width. That is how we are finding the area of a rectangle. Okay. So here 5 into 3. The answer 15 will be stored inside the area. Okay. Now actually here you can see the input. Whenever I am adding, it is float input, right? Not int input. Int means whole numbers. Float means decimal numbers. Okay. So even though I'm adding 5 and 3, it will be treated as 5.0 and 3.0. That's why whenever I'm multiplying 5 into 5 area length into width, it is just like it is multiplying 5.0 into 3.0. The answer will be 15.0. So it is printing area of the rectangle, comma 15.0. See? Same way we have another output. Here I have written perimeter. So it will be going inside the peri function because here you can see I'm checking if choice equal to perimeter area. Choice is perimeter equal to area is wrong. So elif choice equal to perimeter, that is correct. So it is calling this function peri. Going here, it will ask the user to enter the length and width. It is finding the perimeter 2 into length plus width. That is equation to find the perimeter. After that, it is printing them. I hope it's clear. Now let's try a program. Yeah. So here what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a function def sum. Sum function obviously to find the sum of two numbers, right? So a sum followed by bracket, we need a colon. Okay. So after that, I'm creating a variable x or maybe n1 equal to int or float any number, anything, okay? Maybe enter first number, okay? Same way, in the next line, we can do the same thing. We can ask the user to enter the second number, and I'm storing it inside the variable n2. Okay. Now, since the name is sum, we have to find the sum, right? So maybe I'm adding answer equal to n1 plus n2. In the next line, I'm printing maybe sum is, comma, answer. Okay. Same way, I want to create another function, maybe subtract. Okay, maybe, sorry, def, followed by the function name can be anything. Okay, maybe I'm just typing sub for the subtract. Brackets, colon. Now we need to do the same thing here. So I'm just copying it here. Okay, I'm asking the user to enter the n1, n2. I'm finding the answer. Answer here, since it is subtract, should be n1 minus n2, right? Now we have to print subtracted one, we call it as difference. So difference is answer. Imagine I want to create another program to find the multiplication. So how will I do that? Maybe mul. You can give any name, okay? Same thing. We have to ask the user to enter the numbers. Answer should be multiplication n1 into n2. Then we have to print product is comma answer. Okay. Now the problem is that in all the functions, I'm writing the same thing here, right? I'm asking the user to enter n1, n2 in all the function. Okay, I'm repeating the same thing. So here, whenever I'm calling the function, maybe I'm just directly calling it like sum. After that sub, sorry. After that maybe mul. Okay, function name and brackets. Now here, now you can see in all the functions, I'm asking the user to enter the same numbers. I mean, sorry, same line. Enter the first number, enter the second number. In all the three functions, I'm doing that. Okay. Instead of that, it will be better, right? We are passing any value whenever you're calling it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to skip that line. Okay. I'm just skipping it from there. After that, whenever we are calling, here you can see there is a red line, right? Whenever I'm calling, I want to pass the values. Okay. So I'm just typing n1, n2 inside the bracket as a parameter. So what happens is that whenever you're calling, you can pass some value for this n1 and n2. For example, for sum, maybe I'm passing the value 3, 4. For the subtract function, I'm passing the value maybe 4, 7. For the multiplication function, I'm passing the value maybe 6, 3. Okay, so what happens is that whenever I'm calling, first you can see it will execute the first function sum. Going up here, I'm passing the value 3 and 4 as a parameter to the sum function. Okay. Now the sum function has two parameters, n1 and n2. Okay. Sum function has now the two parameters, n1 and n2. Now the value of n1 will be 3 and the value of n2 will be 4. So whenever we are running, it is printing 3 plus 4. The answer will be 7. It is printing sum is 7. Okay. Same way after that, it is calling the sub function going up here. The subtract sub function also have two parameters n1 and n2. The values will be 4 and 7 because we are passing that value. So answer will be 4 minus 7, which will be minus 3. Okay. Now, for the multiplication function also, we are doing the same thing. Here also, we have two parameters. So n1 will be now 6, n2 will be now 3. Okay. So the answer will be like 6 into 3, 18. Product is 18. You can see. See, sum is 7, difference is minus 3, and the product is 18. I hope it's clear. So we can directly type the values like this. Otherwise, what we can do is that we can just add variables here. Okay, for example, maybe before calling the function, I can ask the user to type the numbers and I can pass the values. Okay, and one more thing, there is no need like you have to type N1 and N2 here itself. Okay, you can create any other way. Maybe I'm typing X and Y. And that's okay, all right? So it should be X comma Y here in all of the place. Okay, whatever you are adding inside the function call, this is a function call, okay? Sum, sub, mul, these are the three function calls. Whatever values or variables are inside the function call, whenever it is going up here, N1 will be the value of X, N2 will be the value of Y. Same here and here. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now come back to the slides. Right. Now, here. So that's how we can pass a value as a parameter into a function. Okay. So here in this example, you can see I have two functions, sum and average, to find the sum and average of three numbers. Okay. So the normal coding is starting from here, print. Let's find the sum and average of three numbers. Okay. After that, I'm asking the user to enter three numbers, N1, N2, N3 in input, enter the numbers. Okay. So you can see the user has written the numbers 5, 10, 15. Okay. After that, I'm printing. Let's call the sum function. Okay. Then I'm calling the sum function. You can see sum. Inside the bracket, I'm passing three values, N1, N2, N3. So going up here, here the parameters are A, B, C, right? So A will have the value of N1, B will be same as N2, and C will have the value of N3. Actually, these values are 5, 10, 15, right? So it is printing sum is 5 plus 10 plus 15, which is 30. Okay. Now in the next, after that, we are printing, let's call the average function. And I'm calling the function average with the passing the value N1, N2, N3. Going up here, A will be N1, B will be N2, and C will be N3 because A, B, C are the parameters. And A is obviously 5, B is 10, and C is 15, right? So it will print average is 10. Okay, we can see here 10 is written as 10.0. But all the three numbers are integers, right? Integers, but 10 is a float. Because whenever you're doing division, by default, when in Python, whenever you're doing division, the answer will be a decimal value, which is float. I hope it's clear. Now, let's have a look on one last program. Here, this is a code to create a calculator. Okay. So I have four functions here. Add, subtract, multiply, and divide. All the functions have two parameters, x and y. Okay. So first, what I'm doing is that I'm asking the user, select the operation, 1 for add, 2 for subtract, 3 for multiply, and 4 for divide. Okay. After that, I'm adding the while loop. While true means it's kind of like a forever loop, right? So inside the while loop, I'm accepting the user input. I have written choice is equal to input, enter the choice 1, 2, 3, or 4. So it will be looking like this. You can see first here. Yeah, you can see it's printing. Select the operation 1, 2, 3, 4, add, subtract, and all. After that, enter choice 1, 2, 3, 4. That is inside the while true, right? So user has written 1. So what happens if the user has written 1? One second. Whenever the user has written 1, inside if block, we are checking if choice in 1, 2, 3, 4. Like we are just confirming the user has written something in, like user has written 1, 2, 3, or 4. Any other number, not any other number. If the user has written any other number, for example, 5 or a minus number or 100, anything other than 1, 2, 3, 4, it will go inside the else block and it will be printing invalid input. Okay. Otherwise, the user has entered a valid number. Then what happens? Computer will ask the user to enter the numbers like N1, N2. After that, we are checking if choice equal to 1, then we are calling the add function. So if the choice is 1, computer will go here. Suppose imagine the number are 5 and 10. Okay. Imagine X and Y are 5 and 10. So it will print like 5 plus 10 equal to x plus y. X plus y is 5 plus 10, which is 15. Okay. Same way, if the user has written 2, okay, if it is 2, then what happens? It will call the subtract function and it will print x minus y. Suppose imagine the numbers are maybe 6 and 3. Okay, so it will print like 6 minus is inside the double quote, so it's a string. It will be printing just like that. Y is a variable, so it will print the value maybe 3 equal to is in the code, so it will printing just like that equal to x minus y. 6 minus 3, the answer 3 will be printed. Same way, it will execute the multiply and divide function. Okay, we can see the outputs here. Right. So whenever the user has written 5, you can see it is going inside the else block and it is printing invalid input. For all other numbers, it is going inside the function and it is printing the respective result. Now there are two assignments for you. First one is to create a program to find the area and perimeter of a rectangle using parameterized function. So you can see in this program, we have already created a code to find the area and perimeter, but that was without using the function. Now this time we have to create a program using that time we have done without passing any parameter, any value, right? So this time you have to create it using parameterized function by passing the length and width. Same way, you have to create a program. Second question is to create a program to find the largest of two numbers using the parameterized function, which means you need a function with two parameters, maybe number and 2. Inside the function, you have to find which is the biggest using the if and else. You can do it. Now you have to call the function by passing the values for that parameters. I hope it's clear. You can just practice. Okay. Happy learning. See you with another video. Bye.